Lynn here. Hope you're all having an amazing day. Now, in this video, it's going to be a little bit something different. It's a bit of bad news for this cactus here, but I think I'm going to be able to save it. Now, I was actually going through my plants this morning, giving them a bit of a pruning and a tidying up and everything. And this plant was actually against the window, not touching the glass. So it's not cold damage, but it was facing the window. So obviously I was only seeing this side here. And as I move the plant around, it's giving it a bit of an inspection, as I do, to always check for bugs and things. Look at that. I noticed it's like gone totally black at the top. And obviously I've looked at it through a loupe, which I've got here. It's a little tiny magnifying glass. I'll just show you what I use here, guys. This is brilliant to check for bugs and that. So obviously the first thing I thought of, it's got bug damage or something, and I looked through it through the little loupe here, but I couldn't see any signs of any bugs whatsoever. And to me, it looks like it's got some type of fungus at the top. It's pretty horrible, and it has sort of like lots of little sort of white little bits on it. And obviously, if I left this plant, it's going to spread all the way down. So I have to do an emergency life-saving operation on this poor cactus. This cactus here is actually a Stenocereus turbii, and it's a lovely plant, and I want to save it, and I believe I can save it. And the reason why I'm filming this is because if you ever have this happen to you, I've actually had this happen with a few of my cacti, mainly in the past, where they've gone, for some reason, gone black at the top. Plants, they can get a fungus infection, or sadly, insect damage has affected this plant at some point that I've not noticed. Sometimes spider mite and things like that you cannot see with the eye, the human eye, and you usually find that you only notice it when the damage is done, and fungus infection can set in, which is possibly what's happened to this poor plant here. But I'm going to show you how you can save it, and all you need to do is obviously make sure you have a clean knife, as in this case here, a sterilised knife. I've sterilised this with boiling water because I'm going to make a cut. I'm going to take it right down below here, not up there. I'm going to take it a good couple of inches way below here. So I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to treat it with yellow sulphur powder, which is here, because I find that helps to stop any infection from getting in, especially at this time of year, because it's February, late February here, and it's very, very cold, wet and damp here in Ireland at the moment, especially damp. It's been quite mild, but very damp, and obviously this time of year when the plants are still dormant, infection can set in. So I find using yellow sulphur powder will help to dry out and prevent any fungus from going onto the cut wound. Now, if you haven't got sulphur powder, as it's very hard to get in a lot of countries, it's not even easy to get here, you can also use cinnamon powder, because that's also antiviral as well. So cinnamon powder you can get from any supermarket or health shop, also does the same job, and I've had good effects with that too. So I'm going to show you what to do if your plant ever goes black and mouldy. So let's get going, shall we, guys? Now I'm going to rest that on the side here and turn it round. Obviously it's always going to fall out, and as I say, I'm going to be taking the cut good 2 inches below on here. And the best thing to do when you're holding cacti is, I like to use a bit of cardboard just to wrap around. I don't tend to use gloves because, to be honest, the spines go straight through with gloves, so they're not much good. But a bit of cardboard here, as in this case I'm using an old toilet roll, and cut it obviously up, and then wrap it round like so, because it's easier to just to grab without spining yourself. As I say, I'm going to take that down here, and I'm going to take the cut way below. That's the mouldy part there. I say mould isn't necessarily dangerous to cacti if it can be cleaned, but this is obviously fungus, which is different. As you can see there, it's actually infecting the plant. If I didn't treat it, it's going to spread and it will eventually kill the plant. So in this case, good couple of inches below. You always want to make sure that you get all the black out, and find a place there. So sorry cactus, I'm going to cut your head off. Not very nice, but I'm saving your life. And obviously cut straight across like so. Now the brilliant news is there, as you can see, the core going through the middle there is perfectly clear, because when it comes to fungus and bacterial infections, when you do emergency cuttings on plants to save them, if it's still brown in the middle, you have to cut back until you get a completely clear vascular in the middle there, the actual core, which is clear. And I'll just show you the other part there. That's going to go to the old compost bin. And all I need to do then is put some yellow sulphur onto here, which I'm going to do now. And I find the yellow sulphur is very good. Unfortunately, like a lot of the things that are very good that used to be around years ago, they seem to have stopped them, as with many things now. And I put a little bit onto a little tray here, and I'm going to brush this onto the cactus. So you don't have to use anything really. If you've got somewhere, if you live in a dry climate and you can keep this in a dry area, you can actually don't need to worry about using anything on it. It will just callus over itself. But unfortunately, here in Ireland and where I live, it's very damp, very, very damp. So I know if I left this, by the time it dried, unfortunately, infection would set in. So, but again, you can use cinnamon powder, which again is very good. And I always sort of really completely cover it as much as I can with this. And what I'm going to be doing then is keeping this cut cactus into a very dry area, and I'm going to be keeping this in my office, which is warm and dry, so no chance of damp getting in there. And there you go, see the cut. And what I'm going to be doing then, obviously I'll do an update on this cactus, because obviously the time of year, it's not going to be doing much now. The spring, hopefully it will send out to new growth around the areoles around here, and it will send out some pups, and I'll do an update video on it. Now, I've also done another video on how to save a cactus from rot, and I did an emergency on that, and I saved the cactus, and it's doing very well today. So if you haven't seen that video, please check the links up to that video as well, guys, if you happen to have rot from the base. And hopefully this won't happen to you, but if you do, you know what to do. So I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness, and tons of cactus power, as always, from Ireland. And until the next video, guys, bye.